Hey everybody, it's Anthony at Gravitee. In this video, I'm going to quickly show you one of the new things we've added with the Kafka gateway, particularly in the ACL policy. What we're going to be able to do in this policy is use a complex expression to determine what topics should be accessible to given clients of the gateway. Now, in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow my clients to list topics based off of the some data about the application. So I've got two topics here, demo/123/topic1/foo and demo/456/topic1-bar. Now, I can go over to my ACL policy here and I've got an expression here and I've got a couple options with my expression. And here what I'm going to do is say my expression pattern is of the following format. Demo dash and then a dictionary lookup, which we'll take a look at in a second. And that dictionary lookup is going to be of a context attribute. So this is going to be dynamically generated based off of who is calling the API proxy. And in this case, I'm going to actually look up that application ID. This is going to be my key in the dictionary. And then I'll accept dash topic dash and then a wildcard here. And that's how I'm going to allow for foo and bar. Now, if I go back over to my settings here in the in Gravitee, if I look at my Kafka demo here, I've got a dictionary with two keys, and these are the application IDs. I could use something more complex or simpler to read using more complex expressions, but in this case, I'm just going to use my application ID here. And I've got my application ID for the first application and the application ID for the second application. And I have an API key subscription for both of these applications. And so what's going to happen is when my client connects to the Kafka gateway, I'm going to, for this application, I'm going to set the value in that expression to 123. And then when this application's key is used, I'm going to set the value to 456. So just to go through that again, if we come back over to our policy here, again, what the ACL is going to do is it's going to say, I'm going to match all topics starting with the word demo dash, and I'm going to go in the dictionary, the Kafka demo dictionary, and use the application from the context, which is going to be determined by the API key. I'm going to use that to dynamically determine what topic names are allowed to be accessed. And if I actually look at my subscriptions, you can see I've got two API key subscriptions for each application. So for this one, you'll see you've got the second application, and that's going to correspond to one API key, and then the other application is going to correspond to the other API key. Now, if I go back over to my terminal in my demo here, make this a little bigger, and if I check what I've got here in this directory, I've got two properties files, and if I cat the first one, I'll see I've got one API key, that's this password, because the API key corresponds to SASL plain mechanism. And then if I cat the second one, app2, this is a different properties file, and if each client or application is going to have two different properties files based off of the credential that they have. And so now what you'll see when I run the first one is it's going to identify that application, look it up in the dictionary, formulate the ACL to only show topics 1, 2, 3, and then for the second one, it's only going to show 4, 5, 6. So let's take a quick look at what that looks like, if I can spell. There we go. Now here I'm going to go ahead and remove this app2. So when I run this, what I'm doing is I'm running a list topics command to my core demo with this properties file. And when I do that, the ACL evaluates the expression and returns that demo-123. This is that value from the dictionary for the first application. And when I do it for the second application, come down here, change my client to point to a different properties file, and run that, my list command is going to show me demo-456. And again, this dash bar and dash foo comes from the fact that there's an expression at the end that allows for a wildcard here. You could have arbitrarily different expressions based on that. So that's how you can dynamically determine which clients can list which topics, and indeed do any set of actions that you can define with the Kafka ACL based on some metadata about who the subscriber is. So hope that helps. Thanks.